What's up, guys? Welcome to another 2K Drones. And as always, I am joined by my brother from another mother, my American cousin, Chuck.
Hey, Keith. Hey, everybody. How you doing today?
How are you doing, sir?
It's been a while. It's been a minute, I guess is the term. But
yes, it has. It's been a few weeks. We've had holidays and illnesses and everything else. So sorry we've been off. Sorry, we've been off air for a while, but we are back on, and we have a few guests and a few regulars. So we will bring in our newsman, producer, an all-round great guy, Mr. Henry Robotic.
Henry.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here, as always. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you, as always, Mr. Producer.
And a man that we bump into a lot, knows a lot about FPV, our friend, Mr. John Cuppi.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, John.
Good to be here, guys.
We're glad to have you here.
And you may recognize this guy. I mean, it's not got a huge channel or anything, but
he's kind of a nobody.
Aldryn from FlytPath. How are you doing, sir?
Hey.
He's in the dark. There he is.
There he is.
Hey.
How are you doing, sir?
What is going on, everyone?
It's been a slow news week.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's like there's...
Oh, man.
We're itching to see the action too. We're itching to see more pictures of whether the replacement for the Mavic 2 is. And
am I frozen?
I think you're.
Oh no, you're unfrozen.
Yeah, you're unfrozen. You had the freeze.
Unfrozen by saying frozen.
maybe that's the word. That's like the secret word to unlock it.
So this week we're going to try and sort of discuss what might be next for DJI, as in what new products might still show up this year. And there's the obvious ones like the sort of holy grail that is the Mavic 3, but there are other interesting products that might show themselves up, and that includes the Osmo Action 2, which several people are really wanting. So in John's case, it's especially a new air unit from DJI to replace the one that they sort of all of a sudden discontinued for FPV drones. So yes, and we have some news stories from Henry, but that's sort of just throw it out there. Should we sort of talk about? I know Chuck really wants to talk about the Action 2 because you use Osmo Actions in your arsenal of gear. So
yeah, it had a lot of action with the vlog stuff I was doing in the Catskills 2 weeks ago. That thing stuck on the roof of the truck and on the side of the truck and on my head and all over the place. It's so versatile. So that's why I'm really excited about an Action 2 with maybe better low light and maybe a bigger, so a 1-inch sensor maybe, and auto leveling maybe. Oh, come on, DJI, like bring it. Maybe the built-in wireless mic like the Pocket 2 has.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
I think the auto leveling is pretty much a must at this point.
It needs that. And
if it's going to compete with GoPro, I think it needs to have nice stabilization.
That is, the auto leveling thing would be really cool, because I know that's one thing I struggle with the Action, is to keep it, so I don't have to crop so much. But I mean, it'll auto crop a little bit. If it does that, it'll have to bring in, kind of like punch in a little bit, right, to allow it to wiggle.
Yeah.
But that would be a great feature, and they can take my money if they do that.
Oh man! See, the thing with the Osmo, the Action is it's like everything is there, but for some odd reason, I've been using the Go 2 so much more recently because of the auto Insta360 Go 2. Because of the auto leveling. I put that thing in pro mode, and I mean, I could run with it, put it on my kid's chest, and it's just like, I don't think you realize how much that auto leveling really helps. Even just basic vlogging, walking and vlogging, you don't get the, those, the kind of the micro movements, so.
Yeah.
I think you put them side by side. Oh man, it's unreal. I'm glad that they came out with the Insta360 1R update. I haven't done it yet though, but they added the one leveling on there now, so you can just use the single cam. So I do want to do that update.
how are you finding the little Go-To? Is it good? Is the quality out of it really good?
So good for what you're getting. I mean, you got to think about it. It's super tiny. I think that's why. I mean, it's just like carrying, even though I don't even have AirPods, it's just like carrying a little small, like kind of case. But yeah, I think it's so much. It's so nice. It's so nice. I mean, as long as you're shooting in a day, and shooting a nice bright day, and like, even in the car, I mean, it's fine.
I've sort of waiting to see people attach it to their FPV drones and see what footage they get out of it, because I mean, I'm not really an advocate of mounting a GoPro on the DJI FPV drone, but the Go-To you could, I think.
Yeah, there's a ton of mounts
so
already.
lighter.
There's a lot of mounts on that.
Yeah. I suspect we know of a couple of guys that are making mounts for that already.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing is that you just can't. It's hard to get them. It's been difficult to get them because of the chip shortage. There's been a lot of stock issues I've heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
And it's potentially going to get worse before it gets better. There was an announcement today that one of the major component factories here is now shut for the next 2 weeks because of an outbreak.
Wow.
So,
man.
And they make components for things like GoPros and other things. So it's just unfortunately an off cut of what's going on at the moment. I haven't been able to get a PlayStation 5 yet for love nor money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's interesting to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go on, John.
I was gonna say, and it's interesting to that point too. I don't know if you're aware of this, but CADX, the company who is now making the air units and all that for DJI, had a plan to collaborate with Insta360 and make a version of that camera called the CADX Peanut. It was supposed to be an Insta360 Go-To derivative, and I actually asked them just yesterday what's going on with that, and they told me chip shortage, we're just not going to be able to do this anytime in the foreseeable future. And that stinks because it was supposed to be a lot cheaper. They were supposed to, I guess, maybe trim it down for FPV. They were going to work with them, and we're just not going to see it. So I personally was holding out on getting a Go-To just for that reason alone. So now I may just go ahead and get it, because I would really like to have something like that to put on my quads.
I was contemplating it, I have to admit, because unlike, I mean, you hear rumors about the Osmo Action 2, but there's been none of the usual leaks, so I'm not entirely sure how far down the pipeline it is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you too. I haven't. Nothing's come through. So
fair enough. I wasn't going to ask you. I wasn't going to quiz you.
No. I mean, honestly, like the Osmo Action 2. I mean, everyone knows. I mean, I've talked about the Action since it came out. I still prefer it over the GoPro. I'm the biggest advocate for it. I'm super excited whenever that thing. But I mean, at the same time, I've talked to my rep before, and I'm just like, hey, and this is like feedback. I think everyone gave months ago of just like what are the wish list stuff, and it's kind of one of those things. It's like even with the Mavic 3, I think a lot of the wish list stuff is like, I want like the a Skydio type camera system with this and this. I mean, like, man, the wish list just keep getting bigger and bigger. But the Osmo, Action 2, I mean, whatever whenever it comes out, I think the Insta360, I think, is pushed them more than GoPro, in my opinion. Because I think if you ever use an Insta360 like an X2 or the Go-To, that leveling and how pretty much out of the box it's really good. I think that pushed it more than GoPro, because I just don't like GoPro's usability. That kills me. The Action, I love like the buttons. I'm the biggest guy. The quick switch, I think, is like the biggest feature that no one ever likes to talk about. I'm like, this is the best feature on an action camera. That quick switch is ridiculous, dude. Like, people don't get it. I'm like, do you not know? Like, it's the easiest. Like, go on a GoPro and try to quick switch something. Like, go from like 4K 30, go to slow motion real quick, go back to a photo. You're like, it'll take you a good 30 seconds or so, right? Where in the Osmo Action, it's just like you have your 4 or 5 presets and you're up and running. So I think that's like, for me, the biggest thing.
The quick switch is pretty cool. I like that I can switch screens really fast with it too, because I've had challenges with the voice commands, where the voice commands will. I didn't say like record or whatever. It just starts recording, or it just it drives me nuts. So I by disabling the voice commands and then being able to use the quick switch, it makes it really useful, and you can flip around really quick, like you said, from modes to modes to modes.
Yep, and you know, I remember when the Osmo Action came out, and some people were like, the front screen is kind of just a
awesome.
gimmick. It's not. I was
awesome.
like, no, what are you guys crazy? That front screen is awesome. I have used it so many times to make sure that I've got what I'm trying to get.
Now, if the next one has a touch screen as a front screen,
that would be so nice.
I think it's like, even like GoPro, like even just little things. I mean, as much as we didn't like, or I don't like the GoPro front screen, it has a slower frame rate or whatever it might be. I mean, you're just using it for framing, right? As long as you can catch up to enough for framing. Yeah. But of course, Osmo Action, same thing. You're going to want the options to have it on all times, have it on only when you want to. I mean, those. Just as long as it's all there and the options are there, I think we're cool with that, because there's an understanding that it's going to drain your battery if you use it, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, you just want the option to turn it on or off all the time. I think, that'd be nice.
Yep.
I mean, I think the trouble was I bought a GoPro Hero 7 when they first came out. Then, literally a couple of weeks later, the Osmo Pocket came out. So I got that because I thought, right, I can really use that. And in fairness, I use the Pockets a lot. I like the GoPro, but I agree with what you're saying. For me, the thing crashes every 5 seconds, and I've used a few people's Osmo Actions. Yeah, I've used a few people's Osmo Actions a couple of times, and I love it. And when the Hero 9 came out, I was kind of like, it's awesome in the fact that I was watching them sort of turn the thing around, and it just stays level, and it has all that stuff in it, but then you hear about, it still crashes like a GoPro. It still does everything that every GoPro before it has done that they've never seemed to have fixed. And I was like, right, I don't need it that bad. I'm hoping that DJI take note of this, bring out an Osmo Action 2 that does exactly what the Osmo Action did, where it comes out and is slightly better than the Hero 7. If they can do that again, then they're going to have my money, and I'm going to get the Osmo Action 2, because as much as everybody bangs on about GoPros, they are really annoying to work with because they crash. I mean, it's touch and go whether it will charge with the battery inside it every time. And
what's crazy is how long it's been out, right? I mean, we're still talking about Osmo Action, their first release. GoPro's been out for 15 years or whatever it is, right? 10 years. We're talking about an Osmo Action.
Their 9th iteration, and they still can't. I mean, I bought a GoPro Hero 9, and I just gave it away. Honestly, it was just I couldn't use it. It just took more time than just taking my phone out and recording. They didn't keep me.
Yeah.
The next camera that I'll buy will be an Osmo Action for sure. I'm not going to go back to GoPro. I just gave up after the Hero 9, personally.
I've never come across a device that's so fussy about the type of cable it's used. I mean, hell, it's more fussy than my wife is about handbags, and she's fussy about handbags. And I mean, seriously, I mean, there's only I've got loads of USB-C cables, but it only works properly with 2 of them, reliably. And
it'd be kind of cool if DJI came out with, an Osmo Action 2, right, for the standard all-purpose, and then they also come out with something like an old school session, right? Like made for it. So like some sort of not like an Insta361R, not a modular system, but like just why haven't I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they probably have thought about it already, right? Just come out with what people are already doing, right? They're gutting the GoPros just for the camera. Like just come out with like a little mini one for FPV pilots, and then have another Osmo Action. So that was awesome.
I agree with you. I think,
Action Mini.
Actually,
yeah, right. Yeah.
I actually think Insta360 did that, like a light version of something. Did. I don't know.
Yeah, they did they made for that beta FPV, I think, right? That flat version.
Yeah. That thin one. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, it's thin, but it's flat, which means it's blocking your wind resistance, right? So I mean, it's it would almost be better if it was like the old Sony cameras where it's like long and skinny, and You know, so
Oh, yeah, I know
a
what
little
you're
more
talking about, yeah.
streamlined. You know, those white action cameras. I forgot what they're called. I forgot what they're.
Sony is bad at naming.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that'd be kind of cool if they came out with that, right? Paired it up like presenting two new things, right? Osmo Action 2 with, and then I don't know. Just trying to think of which way they could spin it.
Maybe it's just a matter of the chips being so hard to get for stuff. Maybe they're just holding back.
Yeah, I know we're talking about all this stuff, and
It all requires chips. Everything requires chips. I know my wife finally embraced the action. The action's technically hers, and she finally embraced it on this last trip and used it a lot. And you know, later on in the trip, she started to get pretty good with using the thing. It didn't take her long to get comfortable with it.
Yeah, if you want to know how good of usability it is, just give it to a kid, right?
Yeah.
My son can use the Osmo Action. He will not. He can't figure out the GoPro for his life.
I just want to say, hearing you guys talk about the GoPro, like, this is really interesting because for years the Hero 4 was my primary camera, and then I got one of these. So I've been away from GoPro for a long time now until I just bought a Hero 8 and did that whole, like, naked GoPro conversion thing. I had no idea that GoPro still had some of the problems, like the freezing and everything else that I experienced with the Hero 4. To hear you guys talk about this happening, like, for Henry to say, I can't use my Hero 9, like, that's just shocking to me.
Mind-blowing, huh?
It's still that
Yeah,
bad.
I know.
Yeah.
I
What do you
thought
guys
they would have
think is
fixed
causing
it.
that? Is it the heat? Do these cameras still get boiling hot because...
Oh yeah.
they
I
still
couldn't-
get boiling.
Here in California, even when it's like, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, it'll just overheat if you record for more than 10 minutes. As in, like, I can't hold it hot, and it'll and that's even if it gets to 10 minutes. Half the time it'll crash before then.
Oh yeah,
So
you don't want
it's-
to record for like long times. You got to like it's like same with the Insta360. That's like Osmo Action's not perfect. Insta360. I mean none of them are perfect, but Insta360 also has a very bad crashing issue. You always want to like stop after like 5 minutes, right? 10 minutes, just to make sure it close that file. It's sitting there spinning. You're like, no, close the file, please. End it, please. And then all of a sudden it freezes, and then you're like, lost the file. I gotta eject the battery. It's over, right? I just lost that footage. Yeah.
It doesn't have a repair thing where
you might get lucky if you restart and it could repair it, but I mean, you pretty much know, right? You pretty much know. It sits there spinning. You're
I've
done.
lost
Dude.
really good shots before because my GoPro has crashed while saving it.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
Insta360 too. I'm not gonna lie. Insta360. There's a lot of times you shoot a long 360, and it's trying to process it. And it just freezes, right? Trying to process all that footage, and that's it. It just, sorry, got to eject the battery. Like, oh no,
man,
and that was the worst. Cool. I was snowboarding, and I'm like, no, that was such a good run. I'm not gonna get that run again.
No, you never get the stuff. That's the worst thing, to lose footage that you can't get back.
I mean, the whole point of an action camera is that it's durable and you can depend on it. Like,
right.
I know that the action,
the way it is.
The Osmo Action runs a little warm, but it's I'll knock on wood. The thing has never let me down. It's rock solid.
I mean,
I've had this in direct sunlight, okay, and I shouldn't do that. And it's been boiling hot to the touch, still recording. It still got me. So like, this is really interesting to me to hear that go.
For the hell of it,
and I guess I don't hear about this problem more often because a lot of the people using GoPro for what I do, it's on a drone, and it's you got that airflow going, so it's not the heat is not really a problem.
It's more for me. I mean, I didn't film in 4K until very recently, so I've never used it in 4K. But it's the charging of it. It will randomly crash on me, and it's running the latest firmware. And when I first got it, I thought, what's all this about? And then I read there were a few issues with it. I thought, oh, it's a brand new product, a bit like DJI. We'll get some firmware updates that'll fix it. Then you start seeing, it used to do this on the Hero 6. Oh, it used to do this on a Hero 4. oh, it used to do this on a Hero 3. We're now on a Hero 9, and you're still
right.
hearing the same complaints.
Well, not even just that. You have to add on top of there when you want to charge it and you try to pop the door out, you can't get to the door sometimes because it's hitting the screw. So you're like, dude, I gotta adjust it back. Then you gotta take off the door pretty much just to get your card. And I mean, just like little, I don't know. I'm big on like the whole experience aspect of the action camera versus like just how it shoots, and like the little things like they add up, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
Tiny little
details.
things.
Yeah, but they're the things that make a
details on it.
difference. Like not be able, like I finally found a cage for the action, like the PJI Tech action case works great because you can get the battery. Well, I mean, you can't get the battery out, but you can get to the side door, which is critical.
Yeah. And you can pop the side door off if you wanted to. You can actually slide the whole back. So I mean, yeah, the PJI Tech ones are pretty good. A couple of cold shoe mounts on there.
I just wish you get the battery out a little quicker,
people
though.
highlighting the GoPro issues in the chat too. We got Lowland Ray saying, "Why has GoPro not fixed this mess? It's been going on for such a long time."
Yeah,
It's funny, they
Freaking
mentioned the Firefly. You ever hear about the Firefly series of cameras? It's more like a budget, low-end kind of camera deal. But, all the little cheap cameras, those I never had a problem with overheating or any crazy stuff. Those always worked great. They took, so-so footage, but they always worked great.
Yeah.
I never had a problem with those things shutting off on me.
No, we've got a cheap. We bought a cheap action camera before we got the GoPro, and it runs in our car. We use it as because it had a car mode, so you can use it, and you need one here because of the roads. They are not great.
Like
that thing
dash cam?
sits in the bright. Yeah, we use it like a dash cam because it has a dash cam mode. It's made by
Very
Eviz,
nice.
I think. It was like the equivalent of about $80, right? And it sits in the dash, but it's bearing in mind it sits in the sunlight sometimes. It's been there for 2 years, still runs like a charm.
Cooking on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking on
That's
dashboard,
about-
probably
that's crazy.
plugged in all the
Wow.
time, right? Just plugged in batteries,
Man.
just fried.
That's harsh. And what about the sensor always being exposed to daylight? Like,
And it still works because I regularly check the footage.
Yeah.
I had need to check the footage a couple of weeks
GoPro.
ago.
Come on.
yeah.
I bought a cheap camera and it never crapped out on me either. Like, never crashed, never did anything.
It does
Never
4K.
overheated.
So it's
That's awesome.
yeah,
It
and
just makes
I
you
mean,
wonder what's going on with GoPro that they can't just make it work right.
It is really weird. You would think after 9 iterations they'd have it figured out.
Man,
After just
yeah.
a couple of iterations, you'd think they'd have it kind of sorted out.
I would really
Making it
I'm-
easy
I'm
on
really-
DJI and the competitors, making it
Yeah,
really
right.
easy because, like,
Oh yeah, they've lost a lot of market share
yeah, but
for sure.
And I think that is part of the reason why they're not fixing these issues. I mean, they have had monetary issues over the last few years, and I mean, the Hero 9 in some ways was a step in the right direction, but it's just bulked down with all these issues and quality issues, as Aldryn pointed out, and it I mean, when DJI came out with the Osmo Action, they hit it out the park for first round, and it's not perfect. But then show me the perfect camera. I mean, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
It's the holy grail is the perfect camera. There's cameras that come close, but there aren't. But the Osmo Action was a damn good action camera, and I really hope that DJI are working on an action too.
I'm sure they are. I just, I suspect
For
just
sure,
the
they
whole
can't
chip-
just.
Actually,
No, they're not.
I think if you're thinking, if I'm thinking about this year, right, and this is just my opinion, I'm thinking of what they're going to come out with. Like, I don't know if they're going to come out with another mini this year, right? So I don't think they're going to. I mean,
wow.
if they do, possibly, right? I mean, I think
I got some leaks, but yeah,
yeah, like I'm trying to think of what would be the what's going to be like this year's
it's not
holiday. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to be this year's holiday thing?
I think it's going to be
might-
potentially.
I would think an Osmo Action, in my opinion, because the Mavic 3 is like
I agree.
is there, but it's like that's not gonna you're not gonna get everyone dropping whatever 2 G's for it. So, but what's gonna be
Yeah.
the thing, right? So I mean, I think their holiday thing this year might be something like an Action, or I don't know if they're gonna even revise the Pocket right now. I'm not sure, so we'll see.
Wow, wouldn't it be? I think Bill at Coast to Coast suggested maybe they do like a combo, like have like an Action 2 and a Mini 3, kind of like a vlogger's pack or something.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think that'd be sick.
Wouldn't it be cool? I mean, like have
cool.
all.
But when did the Mini 2 came out? When did the Mini 2 come out? It just came out
Yes,
last
but the Mini
November?
2.
Yeah,
So
the Mini
this is
2
a whole
came out.
conversation. Yeah.
But the Mini 2 came out a year after the Mini 1, and the rumors are that they're going to revise it every year. We know what's coming on the Mini 3 because it was meant to be on the Mini. It was meant to be on the Mini 2, but they didn't quite get it to work well. They've had another year. That LED light on the front is going to be replaced with a sensor, and that's going to be the selling point for the Mini 3. You're going to have a DJI drone that is sub 250 grams. It's going to have the UK sticker on it, and it just means, and it's going to have a forward sensor. There you go, perfect little travel drone.
It's already a great travel drone as it stands now.
It's all you need.
I just wish it would connect to the smart controller. Sorry, Keith. If it only would. I don't get it. It's OcuSync 2 as it stands. I mean, the next one will probably have 3, but maybe not. But if it would work with this,
I think DJI are missing out there, right? With not allowing the smart controller compatibility because
I totally carry it around as like just a go-to for when you can't, like if you go to the UK or any place where you can't fly over people and stuff, that's more likely to be able to with not inflicting harm to anybody or anything.
Yeah,
it'd be great to be able to pull that one out of your camera bag and use it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if they're going to come out with a smart controller too.
I think undoubtedly that's the smart controller is pretty dated with what's under the hood of it. And so they kind of have to. Not that it's not formidable. Right now you can clean it up and it works really good. We know that to be true. That if you get all the garbage off it.
If they just brought in a small screen, like into the remote some way or another, I mean,
that's gonna happen. Aldryn.
Even just for framing, nothing like you have to like fly off of it like super like whatever, like. But man, just the ability to not have a phone on it is so nice.
I think whatever's on deck to replace the Mavic 2 series, that remote control that they're using with the Air 2 series looks like it could fit a screen, and it would probably fit an OLED screen. And I just feel like they're going to do something like Autel, where they'll have an OLED screen in there, and then kind of like a little baby smart controller. Not because like we've always had telemetry with the Mavic Pro and the Mavic 2 Pro, and the Mavic 2 Zoom. So why wouldn't they continue that, but just go like full color with it and give you a little better, like have a screen there?
Yeah,
it's got to happen.
Or do it where like you just give the budget version, right? The budget version is this one. You use your phone, and then maybe there's the smart controller, simplified smart controller version would be like a screen comes up or something, right?
Ooh,
Then it's like so it's all integrated in there. So instead of it. So you have the baseline, and then maybe like a smart controller one where it's a built-in screen, and you just lift it up, and there you go. That'd be kind of cool, something like that.
Let's see what they're up to.
What I like is the fact that like I could bring one controller, and I could bring my Mini, and I could bring my Air 2S. That's what I do like. So right in my bag right now, I have both. I have the Air 2S and the Mini 2, and then I have one controller.
Yeah. See, I don't. That's okay. That's what I was going for, but I'm talking about a dusty old Mavic 2 series that I carry around a lot, and I would like that to work with the smart controller to work with the Mavic or the Mini 2. But you've already got it. If you have the Air 2 or the Air 2S, and they share the Mini controller already, the Mini 2 controller.
Yeah, if you do the update, they all work.
I am debating whether to get rid of my Air 2 and get a Mini 2, because I've got the Air 2S and I love that drone. It's perfect. I love it. But I also have the Air 2, and I am debating whether I get the Mini 2 and sell the Air 2.
I would almost rather have that. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather have the Mini 2 versus the Air 2. If you had a choice right now, because of the fact there's the Air 2S, that if you're like, okay, if I'm gonna have the same body, of course you're gonna want the best sensor, or like you want to carry around them. But then like the Mini, I just if you have a Mini. And you put that thing up in the air, you can't even hear it. It's like ridiculous. Like the Mini 2 is so quiet, it's so non-intrusive. You can fly it pretty much wherever, and it's great. Quality is really good.
It has
killing
its
me,
place.
Aldryn, you're killing me.
No, I mean
Well,
seriously, if you have
really-
a Mini
I do
2,
want
it
one.
is so like just like you got to be
Yeah.
kidding me. It's like such a toy. Then you're like, wow, like that worked. I got something, like I don't know. I'm just like, man, I've been flying since the the GoPro days of it. So like I'm just still amazed by what you're able to do with it, and the fact that it's so tiny is so cool.
I agree with you, and I am beginning to come around to that. I'll the only thing I'm slightly not doing it at the moment is because I love having 6 batteries for the head to head.
Oh yeah.
It does kind of have its thing. I mean, I might just sell the Air 2 with 1 battery. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you can have 1.
I could see myself going. I could see myself going Mini too. I honestly really don't want to have to deal with remote ID when it finally hits us here in the United States. And going forward, we're going. Any model over 250 grams is going to have it on it, right? Any new one that a manufacturer is selling here. So I could see myself going whatever the Mini is out. Probably the Mini 3 is what I'd be looking at.
That's the thing. I think people just, I'd say like 90% of the people that actually fly, like things that hold you back is just the size, right? That's the reason why I use the Go 2 from action camera recently, because it is so small. So I mean, like the Mini 2 is one of those things. It's like there's those times, those iffy times. You're like, should I throw it up? Should I bring it with me? And then you're like, there's no choice. Like, of course, like why not? Because it's so small, right? So I think when you start like traveling with it more and carrying it with you, that size just makes it more accessible. So you tend to fly with it more. You tend to use it more. And I think that's like the biggest thing that you need to do, anyways, right? Is just to use it. Like
that's the whole point of having the thing, to have the gear,
Yeah.
to be able to use it and get the shots. Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we'll see a Mini 3 at Christmas. I think that is what's coming. You say that we don't think people are going to. I think that when the Pro 3, Mavic 3, whatever they're going to call it, does show, yes, it's going to be expensive, but I think it's going to sell because the level of interest in that drone now is huge.
the bar is high. That bar is that bar is super high though. I mean, let's but DJI has always kind of gotten away from like saying it's they're Skydio is like, to me it fills its needs, right? It fills that gap. But so I mean, as much as they are competitors, they're also not. And that's the thing. It's like there's space for a lot of individual specialist type of drones. And I think Skydio definitely is a specialist. Type of drone.
The AI flies itself.
GoPro should have bought Skydio at that point, right?
they
If
missed the opportunity.
GoPro came out with the Skydio as the Karma, that would have been like it. Like GoPro would have been like, wow, this is the action cam drone, right? And it matches up for their brand.
Perfect for their brand.
Oh yeah, dude, they should have done that.
Oh yeah, now Skydio is probably going to be worth more than GoPro the next couple of years, anyway. So we'll see.
I bet.
I can't believe they marked up the Skydio.
I think
the
they
Skydio,
are,
the Skydio 2 went way up in price. Holy cow!
But
It's a
it's
pretty sizable markup.
It is a pretty good action cam drone. I mean, I was watching Sean Oz doing his snowboarding thing, and the way it was following him and some of the shots he was getting, you'd swear to God somebody was flying that. It wasn't. It was all the AI in the drone, and it was incredible.
Yeah, that's its forte. That's what it's, what it's built for.
But it's not great for that lovely cinematic shot of sweeping over a hill or anything, or like you were doing the other day in your vlog, Chuck, where you're flying backwards down that stream, which was absolutely gorgeous. It was just such a great shot.
That was the Mavic 2. But you know what would be cool though, if Skydio 2 just had a better remote control. I mean, really, you could fly it in a more cinematic mode, and then if it would. I think there are two limiting I can't even talk factors with the Skydio 2. One is the remote control is kind of weak, and the second is even when you use the remote control, you can't fully disable the intelligent obstacle avoidance. So it's if you have to be able to disable those two, you need the good remote, disable obstacle avoidance, and then you can fly cinematically with the thing. They should let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, the Skydio is aimed at that action camera market, and Whereas your DJI drone is the more cinematic thing for capturing that kind of thing. I think all the drones have their place, but I do agree with you. But I mean, I'd also like to see Skydio sell worldwide, because I still maintain, even on the Air 2S, the active track isn't the best. And in actual fact, I haven't really been impressed with active track on the Mavic 2 or the Air 2 or the Air 2S. It just seems to lose itself. I don't know if it's a heat thing. And in actual fact, they haven't really improved it on the Pocket 2. The active track on the Pocket 1 is better than the Pocket 2, which is just odd.
But, that's an interesting thing with the active track, right? I mean, and I think this is where the active track, I don't think, of course, is not as good. It's going to be as good as like Skydio with their camera system. Yeah, but I think you're looking at the use cases and how many people are actually riding their one wheel with a drone following them, right? You're probably talking about the 0.00001% of people out there. So I mean, that's not their focus. They're focusing on the 95% of people who want to take photos and fly. I mean, so I mean that's they're catering to what they know their market is, versus Skydio. They're going to cater to that side because that's their market. Yeah. The mapping to get into tight spaces. So I mean, like I said, they all coexist for those reasons, and I don't think they're gonna. In my opinion, I don't think DJI, if that significant jump to the full camera system is going to be a big price jump, I don't think that's where they're gonna put their money in, because the market for their audience is so much smaller. Right? They're going to cater to the 95% of the people that fly, who just want to just throw it up in their backyard and bring it on travel and take some great footage. Because the thing with the Air 2S, you're right, active track isn't as like super really really good, but the spotlight mode is dope. Like that thing is really cool. So that's where I'm like, ooh, spotlight, if you haven't used it, like you just drop box on it and you can fly the drone however you want to fly it. It'll just keep it in the frame. So I mean, you don't have to be the best pilot. It'll automatically keep it in there. And I think that mode is really cool, right? So I think that's where they're putting some of that focus on.
And I like how it picks up what it knows it's following a boat, it knows it's following a person, car. I've noticed that's quite clever.
That's been in existence since the Mavic 2 series has that as well. But
I
Spotlight I haven't tried. Aldryn, I haven't tried Spotlight on the Mavic 2.
Use Spotlight and like I said, draw something on it and then just fly your drone and it'll keep it in there. So you can push forward hard. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's where I need to try that.
Man, because I've been orbiting things manually without using Spotlight at all. That'd be a great crutch to help make orbiting things easier.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Try Spotlight.
Challenge accepted, because I'm going to try. Well, first challenge, though, is the FPV drone is finally being charged up. I have 3 batteries charged up for today and this weekend, so I've got to get that thing up in the air.
Do you have the props, though, Chuck? Do you have the props?
Yeah.
We got to make sure we have the props.
Yeah, I got
them in your pocket already.
Oh, my God. I went to the Catskill Mountains. I had everything except props. What the frick? That awesome PJY Tech bag. I used it for the first time, and I forgot to put the props for the FPV in there. And I have 5 sets of them. 5 sets of them.
I keep a set now. I keep a set in that little sort of mesh bag that it's inside it, and they always stay in there no matter what I'm carrying in the bag, because I know that one day I'll forget them. I had it out today, actually, because I had it out knowing that I was going to potentially be talking about it today, and I did another manual flight today. I didn't have it full acro. I still had the altitude limiter on, but I had a lot of fun again with it today. I managed.
Keep that bag,
I managed.
There's 4 more of them, Aldrin.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought they came in 2s and not 4s, so I wanted 2 full sets, and I ended up with 4 full sets.
No, I'm just keep the bag in general, because it's always flopping around in your backpack. You need to put that thing in the case or a bag, because that thing's all over the place.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's actually a Ziploc bag when you open it up. Good. It's here. I'll show you guys. It's yay for DJI. Look, it's a Ziploc.
Nice.
So it's perfect. It's perfect to keep them just
as
in the bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's another reason why I'm just an idiot. I didn't have them.
But I've seen some people have been 3D printing 3D printing nice cases for those the props. I've seen a couple sort of making an appearance. I'm tempted by one, just to keep a spare set. Because at the moment, I keep them in that little cardboard box that they came in the box. If I carry the spare set around, and that's probably not that practical.
It takes up more space. This is really just having them in a bag like this is actually fine. They're not
They do take up. I just shove them in the front expansion thing because that PGY Tech bag's a TARDIS.
I blame you and Aldryn for that, but that bag.
Yeah.
I love that bag.
You blame me and I'll blame him. It's going to be like that sketch. I blame you.
It's all good.
Just don't forget the props. Just don't forget the props. That's
props to Aldryn for helping me find the bag.
No, they got some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean they had this one too. The Mantis just came out, which is kind of cool too.
Yes.
So.
Oh, I can't. I need to get one of those. I think I told you that in the comments.
Pretty cool.
Because I can put Lori's A6600 on that thing. It'll hold it. It'll hold it.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah,
that's
a bunch
next on the list.
I was pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, I was too.
I need to use Aldrin's link to grab one. I think it was out of stock when I went to grab it a few days ago. I'll have to give it another whirl. I think when I went to your linky in the video,
it's even out of stock here.
Oh really?
Usually we usually get them before you guys because Chinese market, but they're out of stock here. But I was saying to Chuck the other day that in recent years, PGY Tech have really stepped it up in manufacturing quality, everything. Yeah. I mean, I remember
price.
Okay, they are now. Well, yes and no.
Well, some of their items are still bargain.
I would say, I would say the quality of their bags, but especially when you look at a company like Peak Design or something like that, they're still mid-range. And actually, I would say that they took the Peak Design everyday backpack and perfected it, and they still sell their version for less. So yes, they are more expensive than they used to be, but you're getting lifetime guarantees on those bags.
You know what's crazy about that PGY Tech bag? The one, sorry to interrupt you, but man, when they came out with it in the very beginning, when they released the bag, 'cause I was part of the release campaign, $99.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at the manufacturing on that bag. Even my buddy that makes backpacks and bags, the one that I go through that I do my case from. I mean, he's just like, man, there is a lot. They call it minutes, right? There's a lot of minutes in this bag, and that's basically, when you make manufacturing stuff, a lot of the stuff you do is based on minutes. Like, how long is it going to take for this, to them to sew it and
stitch and sew.
Yeah. So you look at the intricacies on that bag. It is a lot of minutes put into that PGY Tech bag that you don't even realize that it's there. Like how clean the seams are, and it's crazy. But yeah, for them to release that bag at like $100 back like last year was insane to think about.
I don't think that lasted. I paid more than that.
No. I think it went up to like whatever it was, $179 or what. I mean, but the initial kickstart was like dirt cheap.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I paid. Yeah, I paid about $160 if you're doing US conversion for it, and I love it. I love it. I use it all the time now. It's my go-to bag. I think the only time I use my Peaky is when I'm carrying the laptop, and I need to carry laptop gear because it's just easier to bung it in that. I love it. I love it, and I do think PGY Tech have really stepped it up. Their ND filters for the FPV drone are pretty good. And like
I said, when they came out with something this technical, I was really surprised because I was like, wow, this thing's like, there's a lot of things going on in this thing, and I didn't really think about that level of detail. I'm like, you can do this and this. I'm like, and I'm not like trying to sell it. It's just like there's a bunch of stuff on it. Like you get a switch pod. You know what a switch pod does? It's like does the two things, right? Like this thing does like 30 things. Like that was like okay. So when people would talk about the price, I said the same thing. I'm like, ooh, the Pro version 150 is definitely pushing it. And then I like looked up all the other ones. I'm like, switch pod's $100. A Manfrotto, a Joby with a ball head, that's $150. So all of them ended up being around $100 to $150, right? So initially, it sounded a lot. Then I actually started breaking it down. I'm like, no, that's kind of what they're going for.
Yeah, the Joby Gorilla Pod was about $150.
Yeah, it's like $80, and then you buy the head for another 40. So I mean, you're up there, right?
And depending on which one you get as well. Yeah, I mean, they're not. I've got 2 Jobies. I got the really small one, and I've got the 3 kilogram one. And yeah, that 3 kilogram one wasn't cheap. And I had to. I've put a Swiss Arca plate on it. Purely because I switched between the Peak Design travel tripod and that quite a bit. It's I like it, but when I saw your video, I thought, I'm going to be spending more money because I like that. I can see it. I as soon as you started showing how it sort of attaches to things, I thought, actually, I really quite like that, and I can see a use for it. And I was like, oh no. Every time I watch your channel, Aldryn, I spend money. My wife's watching.
That's funny.
I'm spending it right as we
speak. You're like,
yeah, I'm getting the Mantis right now, so bear with me for a second.
Oh man, Chuck is
I use Aldrin's link. I blame him. So.
Oh yes, don't forget to use the affiliate links.
Don't
right.
But not the
helps,
DJI ones, because those are going
said.
away for some reason.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're going away. What is going on? I'm kind of scared about that one too. I got to redo all my links. So I'm sure you guys got that email.
It's actually interesting to hear your thoughts on that one, because like I can't figure out why they would do that.
I don't know if they're going away with it. I think it might have to be. I don't know. I probably got the same email you guys got. Like, hey, make sure you guys move your links over because affiliate links aren't going to be working come 26 or something. So I don't know. I mean, could be like a whole server change. It could be something, right? But I mean, for hopefully it's not indefinitely, because we'll see. There's definitely a lot of traffic that goes that way.
I mean, they told everyone withdraw your money because you might not be able to get to it for I mean, that's just wild to me.
Oh,
Absolutely
I know.
Wild.
So then I was like, what do I buy? I still have a couple $100 in here. I'm like joining on DJI. What don't I need? What don't I need right now? I'm just trying to like spend this money. Like I think. Oh, you know what I had in my cart? I have like the DJI bag, the backpack. Like DJI has their own backpack, you know. So I'm like, I don't have that. Let me buy a backpack and just see how this. Because I've always liked DJI's like backpack stuff, but they never have them in stock. So I think they might have that one in stock. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll pick that up. And then I'm like, I have $100 left. What do I do with it? Terrible.
Yep, I think I haven't seen that email here. But is it a US only thing because of?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's good, John. I mean,
DJI, right?
You got it, yeah. So John, you got that email, right? So a lot of people have got it.
So I'm not a member of the affiliate program. I don't do anything with that, but I've seen the email posted in the groups. People have been discussing it.
Yeah, I've seen people talking about it too.
I got it.
You did get it? There you go.
I did get it. I'm part of the affiliate thing, and I did get it. I did not notice it.
Yeah, so if you have money in the account, you might want to spend it, and then if you have links that go to DJI stuff, then you're going to want to switch them out. So I have to do that this week too.
Wow.
That's not good.
I got to spend that. Oh no!
No.
How much have you got, Henry?
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, like $20. So I don't know what I'm gonna buy.
You gotta buy something. You gotta buy something.
That's what I said. I'm like, damn, I have
Props.
to buy something.
Buy Chuck some props, and
there you go.
I have plenty of them
to the next
here.
location he plans to fly at.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
That way,
I might just buy
absolutely
something
can't
for
forget the
giveaways.
props.
That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. I'm like I normally do on my videos. I'm just gonna buy something and then give them away in my next video or something. So
Good idea.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
For sure.
That's not. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I am going to get that Mantis pod though, but I just have to wait a couple of weeks because.
I just did it. Just do it. Do it.
Well,
Dude, there's only wait. I'm gonna give you a little carrot. There's 30 available for the June 30th ship. The May 30th is sold out. So I
there you
grabbed one
go.
of those 30. So you better get on it, man.
Limited 30 left. Oh yeah, 30. Oh, you just bought one, right? It was at 37. Now it's at 36 left. See, that was you.
I grabbed one. That's me.
I
really want that for like the Peak Design carbon fiber tripod is awesome, but it's
I love that one
the
too.
Smaller. Yeah, it's awesome. And Keith has the aluminium one. I will kidding say.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I want the
couldn't-
Mantis though for the smaller scale stuff. It'll be really awesome.
I might end up getting the carbon fiber if I, start getting out again. But at the moment, we can't go anywhere. So it's there's no
pretty.
point at this point. But
It's pretty, but I don't think
it does
it's
have
much
that
lighter.
design. It does have that design fault, but hopefully they will have it fixed soon.
Yeah, so that
those
peak
clips-
design, that tripod is the Mantis reminds me of that. Like you look at a tripod and you're like, oh, it's a tripod. And then you like use the peak design one, you're like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
There's
You know,
so many. It's like a Swiss
little
Army
things.
knife.
That's exactly it. Yeah, and the way it's
Yeah.
like built and the way it's just, it's just so sleek and little things here and there that you don't realize. So yeah, I like that tripod too.
I love the tripod. But I've run into their little design fault with it. The tabs that you use
Yeah.
to move the legs up and down are a solid piece of cast aluminium, and they are very, very brittle. And I had two of them snap in exactly the same location.
Interesting.
And Peak Design said, yeah, we are working on finding a new material to replace those. But at the moment, we'll just replace. But they send me an entire replacement leg every time it happens. It's like, why don't you just send me the bit? I can repair the bit. You give me the tool. It's easy. But they send me the entire leg. I've had I've got two spare legs.
Well, Keith, you actually know the reason why. It's because that's an assembly, and they have the assembly in stock. They don't just have the bits. So it's like
Yes,
they have.
I know.
I know. It's as crazy as that is. It's too bad they couldn't just get the tab and then send.
It's like
it
DJI,
is.
right? You break a
you get a whole thing.
an antenna. We'll just send you a whole drone. Don't worry about it. We'll just send you.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper for them to send you the
Yeah.
whole arm than it is to get the bit. It seems crazy, but that's how it works.
The way
for
it
those
is,
guys.
yeah.
I've had that happen with automobile stuff too, automotive parts. Or I had to buy like an entire headlight switch to replace one bulb.
Yeah.
So I just found a bulb on found a bulb in a store that kind of fit and replaced the bulb myself.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Crazy.
Henry, I know that you want to show us because we keep sort of dancing around this. Do you want to bring out your news story? I will put your share screen in. There we go.
Okay, so this one is an interesting one. Recently, this is literally the only news that has happened this week. Is there leaked images of like a something? People can't agree on what this is, but it's this image right here. The center of the screen, and then this image. And in my opinion, I don't trust these. They look weird. Something is off-putting about them. But a lot of people are saying this is like the Mavic 3 or the Mini 3.
I think Mini 3. Just given, go up to didn't it have like the slot? Then it has like that slot kind of where the sensor mic. Is that what that is in the front, or what is that right up to the left?
Something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I suspect it's
an air scoop. It's a go faster air scoop.
It's to take more holes, less weight. So maybe it's a way to shed weight.
Oh wait, that piece right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right here. Here, I'm just joking with you guys. Oh, this thing.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I saw that too. That looks cool.
I don't know. I don't know about it. There's something off-putting about it that I don't trust. So I'm not gonna say anything's coming out for sure. This is a weird leak. Like, why is it metal?
It could be the mold, right? That's what I'm thinking about. It just probably the initial mold. I mean, we saw some of that stuff very similar from before, where it looked like it was that, but then you look at the mold of it or something. So that could be like a mold. I don't know.
Yeah.
The size of it would indicate that it is potentially the Mini rather than.
Yeah, I mean, this is someone's
That's what I
hand.
was thinking too.
And it's not a top inserting battery. I know Chuck said this earlier. It's probably a Mini because the battery has to insert from the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suspect the Mavic, whatever the replacement for the 2 series is going to take a lot more battery than that, and it would be much larger. If it did rear load like an Autel Evo 2, it would be a much larger.
Yeah, that thing is tiny. That has to be a Mini then. At that point,
I agree.
Looking at his hands.
Yeah,
I don't trust the sketches, but like the 2 images maybe. This is the original site that they came from, right here. So, but
yeah, if you're looking at a dude's hand,
Unless it's like a basketball player's hands or something. And
yeah, right.
Yeah, you
they
know,
make it look small. Make the device look small.
I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, at that point, now I'm kind of guessing myself.
I didn't mean to do that to you.
I just thought it was something cool.
It is
It's the
very
only
cool.
thing that happened.
It is cool. It's cool to see that.
So, but I'm sure they're up to something, and I can't believe they won't release the Mini 3 this coming year.
It's funny how.
Let me see here. Looks very mini-ish versus the Airs. So
it's funny how they have gone very, very quiet. And the other thing is that like the FPV drone has still had no new firmware updates, which I also find very weird because
Crypto Man says looks like an Air 2 Pro, maybe Air 2 S Platinum.
Yeah, Air 2 West Pro Plus Maxi Zoom. Yeah.
Platinum.
Maxi Zoom.
Yeah.
I do like the Air 2S. It is a good drone. It is a good drone. The camera on that thing is lovely.
I've seen some really good
The
stuff
zoom
out of
is
those.
incredible. The zoom is probably one of the most incredible things about it.
Yeah. It's just I'm annoyed because I now have to buy a new computer because it won't play. My current computer will not play the 10-bit. Yeah, well, it's coming. I'm just like, come on, Apple, will you just hurry up and get that?
Yeah.
I know it works on the M1, but I don't want to buy the Mac Mini and it works on the Mac. That's the really insulting thing. My $3.5 grand MacBook won't play this, but a 600 quid Mac that now will play the file, and it does it really well and smoothly.
We talked about my plight when I got my Mavic 2 Pro a few years ago, and I had just built the new computer like a year and a half before. It was just off from handling the files, so I had to build another one. So that's why I overbuilt it, Keith. That's why the i9's under the hood and now the 3080 and all that stuff. Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I'm just waiting until hopefully June is when they're going to release this MacBook, and then I can pounce and get it. But I'm not buying a replacement one now. There's just no point.
You can get a PC and you can join Team PC and get a 3080 like me, and
come to the dark side.
DaVinci 17 Studio. Come on, man, come to the dark side.
Potentially, I would, but because of all the website stuff I do and a few other things, I have everything geared up for Mac now, and it would be a massive pain in the backside.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing. If you need 5, get 7. It's my motto.
I mean, the only problem with building a PC right now is it's impossible to find a graphics card, and I know because I've been trying to find one for the last 4 months.
Oh, really? I'm looking at a 3080 right now.
It's because of all the
whatever.
Come on.
Which is what we've got going on in the chat right now. A bunch of crypto discussion. You guys are stealing all the graphics cards. Stop.
Yeah, right.
I'm using mine with DaVinci, man, and it's a beast. It tears up DaVinci. It's awesome.
The M1 Max do quite well at crypto mining. I've got a friend here that does cryptocurrency, and he just got an M1 MacBook Air, and he's quite impressed with it. Just so you don't necessarily have to buy, 3080s, but I get why people are doing it. But you can't get them for love nor money. In fact, they had a 3090 in my local components shop the other day, and I just went, "How much do you want for that card?" Now, how much do you reckon they said? Because I just...
I'm not answering it because you told me.
I would say like $3,000, just if they're just
put another 2,000 on that, and that's about what they were asking for.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane right now.
Wow.
I mean, I honestly should have bought when I had the chance to get the
nuts.
3080. I could have grabbed 2. I should have grabbed 2.
It's
But then Henry would have
insane
got
what
it off
they're
of me
asking
because
for
Henry
that
would have been like, Chuck.
Yeah, I would have.
I know, like, Chuck. Okay, Henry.
I mean, it just when he said it, because I went, "Oh, that's a 3090. How much?" And when he said how much, and I started doing the calculation because I still count. I sort of change over to US and UK at the same time, and when I worked it out, I just went, "Christ Almighty." That's over $4 grand, and that's like over $5,000.
The MSRP of like
$1,500 US
is already overpriced.
Yeah, it's already ridiculously marked up, and then they've quadruply marked. Oh man, almost quadruple. That's
almost quadruple. That's nuts.
350% up or something like that. Just
Oh my
guessing.
god.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, it's utterly nuts. But there is. When you say there is no such thing as overbuilding, or there is such a thing as overbuilding, your computer is a bit ridiculous, Chuck. In all fairness, I've got CAD engineers, right, and people that really do use computer power, and trust me, they don't have as powerful system as you do. And I work for a manufacturing
I'm
company.
disappointed. I'm disappointed by it. I want more.
Oh no.
Well, it is really good with video editing though, but honestly I don't need all the stuff I have in it. I don't need to do what I'm doing with video editing. You're right. It's
But it does play Flight Sim very well.
it does. Yeah, Flight
That
Sim
thing
is
flies
Sim's
just-
awesome on it. Yeah.
Now there I am jealous, because that I am jealous on that. Watching you guys play Flight Sim, I really want to get back into that.
We haven't
But,
done that in a while now. We have to do
Dude,
that
you
again
should.
sometime.
I just wanted to, because there was
Bring on
one
back,
other news
though.
story that before we came on there, John mentioned. John, you were talking about something that's happened for sort of the DJI FPV digital system this week. Do you want to let the ladies and gents know?
Yeah, sure. You got it up right there as well. So if you have digital goggles version 1 or version 2, and you're flying on the traditional side of FPV with it, you can now get video out from the USB-C socket without the smart controller. You can send it to a Windows computer, or you can send it to an Android tablet.
Or my glasses.
Yeah,
That's kind of
we're-
stupid, but I mean, you know,
anything-
goggles to glasses. It's kind of stupid, but I mean, then you
Yeah,
don't need
yeah.
you don't need a visual observer then.
The idea is you can send it wherever you want, and
Yeah, that's
you know,
cool.
This is
Very
a pretty big deal, because now you can do a live streamed flight if you want with people. I mean, I tried this at the field. I jumped on a Zoom call and I was live streaming. Now it is still in its fresh stages, so to speak. I had some issues with frame skipping, and it's not perfect for me on Windows, but people are working on it. It's a constantly being developed thing. There's actually a new website. It's called live.fpvout.com, and that lets you set up the whole thing like right there.
Like this?
Live.fpvout.com.
Oh,
Does
out.
anybody
Yeah,
does anybody
FPV
make
out
a
all over.
device? Does anybody make a device to take
Whatever.
the alt video out from like USB-C and like wirelessly transmit to another device, so like somebody could watch
I'll
on
put
their
the link
phone
in the
or
chat.
something?
Yeah,
Imagine if you plug that
can-
into the
you can link
USB-C
the chat.
port on the
It'll show
goggles
your
and
screen,
wirelessly
whatever you like.
transmit the signal to someone else. That'd be cool.
I put it in the chat. But yeah,
Alright.
it's pretty big news that you can now get video out without the smart controller, because someone
Is
like
that
me,
with the
I
OSD?
really didn't want to buy the smart controller. What?
Is that with the OSD? Is that everything on all? You can see all the telemetry on there?
No,
Or
the OSD is not included because the OSD data comes in differently, but I've read that might actually be a possibility to obtain as well. So right now
everyone-
it's just the...
whenever you do
the-
videos, that's the one drawback for everyone's videos and tutorials. It's like we have to stick a camera inside the goggles to record the screen.
That is a
Right.
bummer. I know, and it doesn't even work with the smart controller. I tried plugging in the smart controller,
Yeah.
hoping you see OSD, and it doesn't show up. Somebody found some cool telemetry though. They were flying with the goggles, and they had this app that allowed you to see like telemetry where the sticks are positioned and everything.
Yeah, the
Well, the
degrees
beta-
and everything.
That
The
exists.
yeah.
beta version of DJI Fly did allow you to do that. When did you? Because you had the drone prior to release, didn't you? Didn't the beta version of the app allow you to see the sort of output from the goggles on the phone? It did that for the DJI FPV drone, but did it?
No,
they
I
stop-
don't believe so. No.
There was a couple of leaked videos where you saw where the beta app allowed you to see the output with all the flight information on there, wasn't
From the
there?
FPV one?
Yes.
I think I think I saw some of those videos, but I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I just didn't know if that matched up right. Something looked off to
Okay.
me. Like it looked like it was superimposed.
I remember those. I
You
still
remember, like,
think
it-
there's something off about them.
Yeah,
I don't.
the
think
one-
they
that's
were
one where
quite
it's, like,
right.
flying
And
through
I
the
said
forest,
that when
right,
they
that
came
one?
out.
when he was flying through the forest and it looked like he had like the full thing. Something didn't look right. It looked like it was just
So,
superimposed. To
if
me.
you
I don't
look
know.
in, there's some things that are completely wrong about it. In the top corner, the text would all of a sudden change fonts and resolutions randomly. It was just a no. I
Yeah.
didn't think it was a real video.
I
That's
mean,
just my
trust me,
opinion.
if there was a way to do it, it would have been in everyone's video, regardless, right? I mean, for us to
Oh,
make
yeah.
a better and clear video, tutorial wise, but I mean, myself and everyone else that posted, I mean, everyone stuck cameras inside the goggles, and that's all we could do. Because definitely it would have been something that even if we would have pulled something usable out of it, I think it would have been worth it.
Yeah,
But no,
fair
DJI
enough.
would tell us too. You know, they would tell us like, hey, maybe don't use it. Like even like with the motion controller and the goggles for the Air 2S. I mean, they were working on it prior to release. They were gonna release it. That's not new news. I mean, it's been talked about already. A lot of the beta users or testers were had access to it for like a really short amount of time before it just didn't start working. So that whole thing too. I mean, you know, motion controller and goggles are technically still supposed to work for the Air 2S. I just don't know when they're going to be able to release it.
Maybe they're worried about cannibalizing the sales of the DJI drone.
Oh,
Or
100%. I mean,
FPV drone. I mean,
I said the same thing. I was like, you probably, in a way, like you guys should probably wait. That way, it just separates the two experiences, and you know, come out with a couple of months later. So at least it'll bring it back in the news. And oh, hey, you know, it's
because there's so many elements of the Air 2S that like the really wide field of view will work with the goggles really well. The FPV mode that works almost like the FPV drone, the way it locks the gimbal is pretty solid. So yeah, I get to see it happening soon. There you go, Keith. You'll have a pair of them, man.
Exciting stuff.
John, is this something that DJI has done themselves, or is this a community thing?
No, this is entirely do-it-yourself hacker stuff. You know, people have been wanting this DJI to do this for a long time, and there was some indication that with the V2 goggles, they were going to do it. In fact, Bardwell had put out a video. There was some kind of miscommunication between him and DJI, and he thought that they were going to enable this for people, and then they turned around and like, oh, no, we didn't mean that. We didn't mean that. And now it's just incredible. Just regular guys got together, started hacking the data out of this port, and they were able to get it. Version 1 and version 2. Both goggles can do it. So it's just incredible. And it really begs the question of why does DJI not want people to be able to do that? Really, why do they? Is it really just to sell the smart controller? I don't get it, because this is amazing to be able to live stream your flights, just get video out to show people. Like it kind of sucks when you fly DJI, right? Unless the person you're flying with also has DJI goggles, they can't watch your flight, right? So I fly with people that don't have the goggles. They can't see it. They can only, you know, they can only watch me line of sight, right? They can't take a look at the monitor. So
with the V2 goggles, does that not? I know you can do it with their FPV drone where you can plug your phone in. Does that work with the other side of FPV?
Nope. It's only the FPV drone that you can get the video out to a device to. The traditional side has no such way to do that officially on version 1 or version 2. So this is a pretty big deal, and it's constantly improving. The people working on this are constantly improving on it. So looking forward to that.
That is interesting. I don't like plugging the Fly app into my so I always sort of scan to see if there's firmware updates, because my drone is in FCC mode at the moment because it's just not usable in the other mode at all.
There is a new version of Fly for us Android guys. I mean, I know Keith, you're iOS, but yeah, I have to download it manually from the DJI site.
But this is one thing, and I'll be interested in your views. Having now had the Air 2S for a month, and really getting into the Fly app, I think that app needs a hell of a lot of work before a pro consumer drone comes out and uses it. Because to me, certainly if you use it with your phone and to a certain extent on the smart controller, accessing certain things and doing things, just it's more finicky. It doesn't feel pro level, if that makes
you're asking
sense.
Aldryn?
I'm asking all
Yeah.
of you because I'm asking. I think the app needs a lot of work before you put a pro consumer drone on there.
Yeah, no. Before I jump off, no, I know what you mean. I mean, if you're off the phone with the other app, what is it? Go for app, right?
Go for it, yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Go for better.
I mean, I think they just been plucking elements from there as they go. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna evolve over time, and they just I think when the Go for app came out, they wanted to expose every single data piece out there that you might think of using, and then the Fly app was just like, oh, I think majority of people don't need it, right? Don't need those things. So I think they're just slowly pulling back what the demand is going to request from them, right? Do we need this? Do we need that? I mean, even like little things, even like the map, right at the bottom, they move that over. I just think that
Yep.
I guess just based on feedback is what they're going to go off of. Because I like the Go for app, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of a lot in there that you just don't even care about. I do hope that they'll come to a point where you can customize your stuff. Right?
I was just gonna say that too. Yeah, if you could customize the UI,
just turn things on and off with toggles, right? That would be awesome.
You could do that in Go 4 a little bit.
You could have a Go 4 app and then just be like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. And then, there you go. So that's kind of where I would see it happening. So, but yeah,
I hope
thanks
so.
guys. I got to jump, but thank you.
Okay.
was
Well, no,
awesome.
thank you
Alan,
for
thanks.
coming.
It was nice seeing you.
Appreciate it.
Really great
And
seeing
nice
you.
Take
to
care.
see you.
Appreciate you.
Take care, buddy.
Man. Talk to you guys soon.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye, buddy.
Good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.
So,
So,
go on. You go.
No, go. You. I interrupted you. Go.
Well, I promised some FPV chat, and I just wanted to, because we kind of off topic, but I did fly the drone again today, and I did fly it in semi-manual, and I managed to have a 7-minute flight.
Ready to.
I had the altitude limiter on, John, but I had a 7-minute flight without hitting the oh shit button.
Good, congratulations, man.
Wow, Keith.
So I didn't do anything hugely daring. I did a couple of dives and I did a couple of sort of turns and stuff. And I definitely get why people say flying in manual. But again, I maintain if I was going for certain things, so like if I was flying in certain areas, well, I wanted to suddenly nosedive it down because I know that would look quite cinematic. Okay, flying manual. And there is certainly a bit in my video when I was at Koh Chang when I flew through those trees, and then there's a cliff. I'd love to have been able to nosedive down that and then come up around the side. But I think you can still do a lot with that drone in sports that you don't need to fly, and definitely that altitude tilt limiter helps. It doesn't confuse you as much as full acro does. I haven't switched that off yet, but I did manage a 7-minute flight of I'm still learning the turning. The turning still freaking confuses me, but I'm getting there. I was, and that was all down to really using the DRL sim, because I've been doing all the mini tutorials on that. Which is better than Liftoff. I mean, don't get me wrong, Liftoff is a great app, and I see its potential once you've got there. But the training in the DRL sim is awesome, and that got me used to flying it with the tilt limiter on, and it felt familiar when I was using it. So I flew my FPV drone. Chuck, I really think you should just go and dick with it for a while.
I'm gonna do it. I charged the thing up. I have plenty of propellers. I think Lori wants to fly too. I haven't seen her on here. She must be. I know she was doing stuff around the house because it's her first weekend off since tax season. But anyway, yeah, we'll get out there. I think she and I will both get out there. And we'll probably at least maybe we'll each use one battery and we'll fight over the third one. We'll flip for it. We'll flip for it.
Well, she really gets into it, then you can have his and her FPV drinks.
There you go.
It might turn out that she likes it more than I do, and that I don't have a. If it works out that way, that's cool. I mean, if it's really sad when you have drones sitting around that aren't getting flown. That's kind of a shame. So one of us.
They don't get flown when you forget the props as well. So.
Oh, that's
yeah. Oh my god.
Sorry, I gotta keep getting on you for that
Poor
one.
Chuck.
It's fine. I put it out there. I just like.
That would crush me.
Yeah.
Well, luckily I
me
had another
too.
drone to
Oh
fly.
my
I mean,
god.
I had another drone to fly to get stuff, so that was not always.
Either way, I'm glad to hear that, Keith, you had a good flight with the FPV drone. Look, I don't have a whole lot of interest in it, obviously, but that's only just because I've spent so much of my time figuring out all the weird software and all that stuff to get to the point that you need to be able to fly FPV traditionally. So
Traditionally, I was going to say you're a traditional
No, but
FPV
traditional.
pilot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I like, though, John, right? I completely respect why you are not interested in it. I get it completely.
Me too.
But when you
Yeah,
talk
it's
about it,
understandable.
and I've watched you on several live streams, when you talk about it and other people are enthused by it because it's their first drone, you don't get at them going, oh, it's a piece of crap.
No.
Because it's not, right? And I
No.
really get the hump when people say, oh, you blah, 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 and all these, or I'm a DJI fan guy. I really am not a fan. That really, really bugs me when somebody calls me a fanboy, because
Why?
I am not.
Aren't you?
No, he's not.
I'm not. I'm not a DJI fanboy. I like the Air 2S.
I'm not
because,
talking to you anymore.
whatever. But I think the FPV drone has its place. But actually, what this has done, and flying that drone in manual, and listening to you the other day on Coast to Coast, where you were talking about how the drone maneuvers and things like that. I'm interested in FPV now, and I want to. It's not taking my interest away from making movies and doing things. I'm interested in FPV for fun. I'm not necessarily interested in it for making content per se, but I'm interested in it for going out and having fun, because it's reignited my love of just flying stuff through narrow spaces. And I'm interested. I mean, I'm looking at that beta FPV one that Ash had, but with the Catus Vista in it, so that it will work with my goggles, so that the only thing I actually have to then go and buy is a remote and not another set of goggles, because I'm not going to go to analog. There's no way that would
I can't
annoy
do
the
it.
hell out.
I actually the thing I like about the DJI FPV drone is when I have flown it is that I am right there with the camera, so you can thread the needle through. I mean, even though I'm not flying it like, doing loop-de-doops and all that kind of stuff, I can fly it in and get really close into things around obstacles and stuff and get cinematic stuff. That even if it's low and slow and normal, I just like that I can get in there. So, I mean, for me, it is a very versatile drone, and you can fly the hell out of it in manual mode if you want to also. It's just very versatile.
I've seen people talking about how much the thing with but I've been learning. It's funny, once I started flying this thing today, and I did do a bit of a nosedive, I noticed how it does sort of pull
out.
Yeah,
John was talking about that. I think was it you, John, or somebody was talking about how it wouldn't free fall basically when you dove.
Yeah, someone was talking about that. I can't remember who, but you're right. Yeah, because it pushes itself away. It's got a lot of
it's still right. It doesn't want to just drop. Like if you're gonna dive a building or whatever,
it kind of drifts away.
Yeah, it still has some props. Like it's still using its propellers a little bit.
Right, I can't recall who said that. Yeah, I know. Why can't I recall who said it? Was just a few days ago.
Wasn't that Coast to Coast?
Yeah, it was on Coast to Coast. Why won't I remember it?
I can't remember.
Was it Ethan? Ethan said it.
It was Ethan.
Yes, it was Ethan. Yes, it was
Ethan
Ethan.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
the man with the 3D prints. Well, you rarely see him. We rarely see him, unfortunately, because he's out working. Yeah,
he's a busy guy.
Indeed.
And when
we got a question in the chat. We got a question in the chat about the new Fly app. Lowland is asking, is that for the Mini 2 as well?
I don't know what the changes are in the app. I still have yet to. I need to update my goggles, I guess.
Word of warning, I heard on iOS, they took away the phone charging thing from the remote. Not that it's a huge deal, but some people like that feature, and I heard if you're on iOS, they took it away with that last update. I haven't updated mine yet.
What the?
I did.
Oh. You mean it won't
won't charge your phone anymore, right? The option in general
Yeah.
settings, they say they took it away. Some people are very unhappy about that.
Yes, they have done.
It's weird that you can't just. It'd be nice to be able to disable.
I can't use my phone anymore with my controller. Just it especially at the moment because it dims in about just in minutes. Whereas the smart controller, Ash's tip about resetting the smart controller works absolutely, clearing out all the crap and factory resetting the smart controller. It works reasonably reliably now with the Air 2S. So certain people making incendiary videos going, it's unusable, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to name names.
BS.
It's BS. It's clickbait and it's BS. So,
I haven't had any issues, but I'm still using just the Mavic 2 Pro, so I haven't had any issues. And I haven't had I still have Google Play Store on mine.
And if you're shooting in 4K, it's less so. It is the bump up to 5.4 that I think is part of it. You think that's it?
It could be
part of it.
Yeah, I know it's just putting a lot of tax.
And doing screen recording while you're actually flying it as well doesn't help.
Yeah. Okay. So I haven't tried that combination of stuff. So maybe that's
so. But I enjoyed my flight today. I am tempted once I get some funds back in to do it. I can kind of solder. I'm pretty crap at it, but I can do it. But there are enough ready built ones out there. I've just got to get my head around tuning and how that works. I'm beginning to understand it, but I need to know more about it. I'm very much in the beginning stage at this point in time, but me and John have got the same chair, and
you guys do.
Yeah, John, I know you're not listening, but we've got the same chair, buddy.
Well, you guys Herman Miller is great. Chair.
Yeah.
Yep. If you need to sit in a chair all day long and program or do any kind of IT work, Herman Miller. And this one's an old one too. This one was built in '98 and it still works great. I got it used and got an awesome deal on it. That older one, the classic, is a slightly better chair than the new one. I've got a classic. I know we're not talking. I've got a classic at home.
No, that's good.
And it is back at my parents.
I like my
but
Zuri,
this is
man.
better.
Oh, leather.
It's everyone to their own. But John's right. If you do a lot of programming stuff,
Barca Lounger.
Yeah.
I'm in my Barca Lounge.
You sit in a chair. You got it's worth it for the health of your back alone.
Yeah.
Like a $600 chair though. So but
mine was $750, I think.
Mine was up.
Yours is newer.
Yeah. Well, it's the only option I had here. Unfortunately. But yes, and I went and asked for permission to fly my FPV drone because the guy's got a bug up his backside, and it's the only decent place around here to fly. So I knocked on his door. Can I fly my FPV drone? Yes.
Dad, can I fly the drone today, please?
Yeah, he's very much like that. But it's a Thai thing, and I was polite, and he let me fly. So I flew around there for about 45 minutes. But I didn't sort of go anywhere near flying through gaps at the moment. I do it in sports mode.
Banana
yeah,
trees?
definitely not banana trees when I was in manual. No.
That's a slapping sound.
Just
It is such a slap. I was flying around this track, John, and I kind of I saw the banana leaf, but it was too late, and the drone just went through the banana leaf.
John, they're huge.
The drone records, so you hear this smack sound, and it obliterated the banana leaf. I might point out.
Banana leaf looks
definitely won.
Banana tree leaves look like something out of prehistoric times. I mean,
yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're like Jurassic Park type.
It's like a Jurassic Park leaf that he just basically shredded and went through. But the smack sound was just ridiculously funny.
It was
almost like a sound effect.
It was great. Yeah, it was like an SFX. It was great.
But I do, even in my creative sort of side, next vlog, depending on where we go, if we're going where I think, I am going to take the FPV drone, because I think there's certain things that I can do with the FPV drone that I can't do with the other drones, and you need that first person. You see, this is why, I mean, again, Chuck's first vlog from the Catskills, I will give it to you that the way where you were flying and flying backwards, that takes some skill. And I would think twice about doing what you did, because I can't see the screen as well. But you were doing that line of sight, right? You weren't looking.
Yeah, I was lying.
Dude, that was a sick shot, though.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That was but yeah, that was
a great shot, man.
It took a bit to set that one up because I was coming through. There were a lot of branches and stuff, but I really wanted that low and slow pulling back from the boulder and stuff.
I just want them to enable the goggles on the Air 2S, because it would be perfect. Then I'd have the best of both worlds. It would be perfect. I don't understand why they haven't done it. I know they did it in their promo video.
They'll do it.
Yes.
They're just they want to let things. They don't want to cannibalize from the FPV drone, because the Air 2S is going to cannibalize it. I mean, if there's so much capability outside of the flat out speed, but for a guy like me, for what I want to do with the goggles and stuff, I could do it with the Air 2S. Everything I want to do, I can do with the Air 2S with goggles on. I have the wide.
There's so much you can do with the FPV drone too, though, that you can't do with that Air 2S. And
you can, John, but the problem, my biggest gripe with it is that they won't fix that D-Log or D-Cine-like thing in the goggles. Why they will not? They haven't released any firmware. Seriously, right? It's not hard. You install the standard LUT. All you have to do is install the standard LUT. It's a feature that's available on gazillions of devices out there. So I don't understand why they haven't done it. There's been no firmware. They had that beautiful promo thing on Potato Jet's video where they had the US guys going, "Yeah, we're bringing in a cinematic mode to it." Where is it?
When?
I mean,
when is it?
I remember being sort of slightly frustrated with the Osmo Pocket, but the firmware for the Osmo Pocket was free flowing by this point in time. There has been nothing, absolutely nothing. The Air 2S has had 2 sets of firmware since it's been out. Nothing for the FPV drone. It's annoying, and there are issues that they need to fix. And having that LUT in the goggles so that you don't have that flat picture, which doesn't help when you're flying. It's great for color editing. It's great for your cinematic side stuff. It's not great when you're piloting it. I mean, and it's the one thing. It's like you don't get AI, the stabilization in the goggles. I completely understand why you wouldn't want that. You don't get that sort of narrower FOV in the goggles, but you do on the footage in the drone. That's great. Why can't they do the same thing with the D-Cine? Like, it's annoying.
You know, we also share the same frustration with updates right now on the other side of things. They have not put out an update for the traditional side for almost a year now, and there are very simple small things that really need to be addressed. Like, for example, this is gonna blow you guys away, you can't get warning text messages in your on-screen display with DJI. Like, for example, low battery, or if you're flying a bird like this with GPS, you can't get any warnings as to what the state of that thing is. I mean, you could see the satellites, you could see that stuff, but it's really annoying to not have a text message up of what's going on. If you lose control link, you just kind of lose it. You don't have a message that says receiver lost. You get that from your radio's voice, but it would just be nice to have warning messages in there.
Home point into the goggles.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really annoying. And we're talking, this is a simple thing, right? This should be a very simple thing. Get that on-screen display element from Betaflight into these goggles. Why? What is going on? Why can't they just give that to us, right? So we're going on a year now of no more work, no work on that side, and it's just disappointing. So I wonder what they're doing. I really wonder what's going on.
I don't know. I find it very curious that everything's gone quiet. There's a part of the thing that I as much as I've heard rumored that the Action 2 was out there with people, Aldrin's
haven't seen
poker face
anything.
isn't that. Aldrin's poker face isn't that good. Somebody is in the chat here.
Ooh.
You can't
Oh
escape
my
him. John.
god. I can't.
You
I
can't
just can't
escape him.
escape him.
We bring him in.
No matter where I go.
Want him in?
Assuming
Sure,
he's-
bring him in.
Yeah, but he was unwell.
Oh, no.
I think, but
Oh, if he might not
Sean,
be
if you-
feeling-
if you're up for it, come in.
Bring
But
him on in.
why I've got you, Sean, I just want to say thank you. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
no.
about.
Here we go.
Oh, me too. Me too. Yeah.
But
I am going to send it to him via Facebook Messenger.
this could be what was this could be the Fly Zone Part 2.
No, it won't. No,
Oh.
guys.
Everybody just be respectful.
No, he's going back to bed. He's unwell. He cancelled a video. I hope you're not got the couth, my friend.
I hope he's.
Um,
Yeah, I know tomorrow is supposed to be like the reschedule, so hopefully it comes through because I think that's going to be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Get
myself.
better soon, Sean.
Yeah,
I
but
hope
feel better,
I hope
Sean.
you feel better.
It's all right,
Um,
man.
but-
We get it.
Fake
We just
FPV.
don't want. We don't want what you have, but we get that you don't.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't spread like computer virus through the screen.
It's,
He's going back to bed. Oh, good. I'll be safe then. I'll be safe.
this time, you're safe
For
this
a few more
time.
seconds. then
Breathe
he
a
goes
sigh
back
of
to bed.
relief.
We do have to have an episode where we have you and Sean on, though.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So we can just duke it out once and for all.
Oh, good. Not he does not goof.
We could have like a
Good.
dueling background.
good.
Yeah.
That'd be
Good.
cool.
Well, I think
Some rest,
we've been
Sean,
on.
man. Yeah.
Yes, get better soon, Sean. Hopefully
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
do your
We're
video
all wishing you
tomorrow.
the best.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. That's,
I am going to. If I have been told that I can register on June the 7th for my COOF vaccine. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it round then, but it means I can register. And then there's a whole thing I'm not going to go into because there's certain vaccines here that are available that are
Sketchy?
But yeah.
sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know yet, but I might be talking to Sean soon because I might, if I can get back to the UK, I kind of need to know what I have to do to fly.
I'm registered to
haven't
fly
been-
there.
Yeah, there's a few hoops that I think I've got to jump through.
Ain't that bad.
But
Dumb American
I'm-
like me did it. I'm good to go.
yes, but I've got to get insurance. I've got to get insurance and things like that. So,
Do you? Oh, okay.
yes, because I don't fly without it. I used to fly power kites, and trust me, I've seen one of those come down on somebody's head. I had insurance for those as well. So, and they're less painful than a drone falling down on you. I think it's a moral thing. I think you have to fly with insurance, and I need it here anyway. But right, anyway, guys, I think we've been on for a long time.
Hour and a
John,
half. It's time to.
muchas appreciatus for joining us,
Oh,
Henry.
yeah.
Thank you. After last week, sorry about last week. I
It's
unfortunately
fine. I understand. I understand.
So, well, thank you for reorganizing your stuff to be on the show, and thanks for getting the news. Thanks to Aldryn. I know he had to go. Thanks for coming on. Thanks to everyone in the chat that was making comments and joining in. It's much appreciated. Hopefully, Sean, get better soon. But for now, it's a goodbye from me. But before I go, guys, do you want to plug your channels? John, do you want to go first, my friend?
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. My channel is just literally my name, John Cuppi, C-U, P as in Peter, P as in Peter I, and I do FPV. I do all sorts of stuff. I've got some builds coming up. I've got some Cinewoop stuff coming up. It should be pretty fun. It should be pretty fun.
I'm
And
looking
with
forward
that-
to this.
Oh,
Looking
go
forward to
ahead.
your Cinewhip stuff. Looking
too.
forward to
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm
Me
gonna
too.
do.
I'd
I'm
be
gonna
buying
build
one
one. I'm
soon.
gonna build a little
I
one.
think I might be.
It's not.
But
You're not gonna need any soldering to put it together, so it should be fun.
Oh, I might actually
No
follow
solder
that. I
Cinewoop
might buy
build.
one.
And Henry, please.
Yep. So thank you guys for having me. Yeah, my channel is my name, Henry Robotic. I do leaks of all sorts of stuff, cameras, drones. I do reviews on whatever I can get my hands on. So yeah, go check it out. Thanks for having me, you guys.
And I mean, do you want to plug yourself, Chuck? I'll go on then.
Kovaction.
Look, he's got the
I'm Chuck.
stickers.
I got the stickers.
I need a
got
sticker,
stickers.
Chuck.
I can get
Give
you
me a
one.
sticker.
I'll get you a
I'll
sticker.
put one on my. I'll put one on my
Ooh.
on my bag or table. Seriously,
Yeah.
give me a sticker.
Yeah, you guys know me. I'm Chuck, and I'm with Kovaction, and my wife and I just did a pretty extensive trip with a bunch of vlogs, and they're rolling out. So be sure to swing by and check them out and comment on them, like them, subscribe if you didn't. You probably did. And if you did, thanks. But anyway, yeah, great to have everybody on today. It was a really good show. I think it was really fun. Aldryn dropped in, which was really cool, and John came in, which is really cool. And Henry, we always love having you as our. Well, you're our producer. You have to come here now. You're required.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for making me that. Yeah.
Yep. And the wives showed up, which is really cool.
Yes.
No
Yeah,
props.
like that.
See everyone in the
FPV.
chat?
So rough.
No, it's funny. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank
Yeah,
you for being
seriously.
here. And we will see you on the next one. We'll be back soon. Promise it won't be such a long gap this time.
Hopefully a
we'll see.
fortnight, which is 14 days, maybe less.
14
We
days.
could do a Memorial Day one next week, maybe.
Oh.
Is it Memorial Day next week? Oh, we
It's
might
in the
have
States.
to.
It is.
I don't know. I'm clueless.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what day it is.
That crept up fast, huh?
Get virtual hot dogs and hamburgers and beer and all virtual, maybe.
We can do that because then I've got a 4-day week because I got a bank holiday Monday on the 31st. Yes.
Oh, I have that day off too. We can do
week.
a collaborative maybe.
Yes, maybe a good idea.
Let's talk about collaborating on a project. That'd be fun. We can post
Good
it on
idea.
here. Post it on here.
Good point. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well, if you're watching this, please hit the like and subscribe button because we're trying to get to 100 subs so that we can get our sort of custom URL and a few other bits and pieces. So if you
Before we
want
get
to
to
watching this
1,000.
live stream replay, please drop us a comment. Let us know what you think, and please hit the subscribe button. And we'll see you in the next one. But for now, bye bye. Wave goodbye, guys. Say bye.
Peace out, people.
Yeah.
Next time.